You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Well, let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-Mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 7th day of September, 2018. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, if you're returning, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, a special welcome to you. We are so glad that you've chosen to spend a small slice of your Friday with us. We don't take that lightly. Have a chart up of the S&P 500 E-Mini Futures. If you can't see it, go to our homepage, cfrn.net. Right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in 30 seconds, and that registration is good through the end of the month. You'll have one-click access every day. If you've not done this, make sure you do. Go to youtube.com/CFRN, subscribe, and then go /live. No, I'm kidding. Well, you can. youtube.com/CFRN/live. Bookmark that page. We do a redundant stream, so that if the go-to ever goes down, you'll know where to go. YouTube. All right, bookmark the page. Okay, right as we were heading into the opening of today's show, having just wrapped up the live training room. We have a 30-minute window, and that coincides with when the European markets close, and we usually see some activity, some movement, some action quite often during that 30-minute period. And you're looking at it right here. Now, those of you who are part of LOGIC247, you got an alert just a few minutes ago on the S&P to go short 28.7, nope, not that one, 28.77 to 28.75 to 28.70. So that was a seven S&P points, and we got it all inside of this 30-minute candle. It's already tagged 28.70. I also sent you guys this one, 25970. Is that correct? 25970 down to 25940. Okay, so that's 30 Dow points that you just picked up if you're in front of your computer or your phone or your tablet, and 7 on the S&P. So you had a good week. Congrats. Let's take a look at a little bit of news about that. And boy, just as things are heating up, I'm like, you know what? I may have to ask Michael to open the show, because a lot of things are coming together, but it's okay. It's like I tell you, there's always another opportunity right around the mouse. E.F. Hutton. Now, have you heard that name since the 70s? I don't think I have. I think the last time I heard E.F. Hutton, I was wearing Jordache jeans. I think so. E.F. Hutton announced on Wednesday, September 5th, that this week it is initiating coverage of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, EOS, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, and will rate each. In addition to providing crypto coverage, the firm will also provide equity research coverage of companies involved in cryptocurrencies and other digital assets, starting with HUD-8 mining and Hive blockchain. Rating scale is going to be 1 to 5 stars, with 5 stars representing a positive outlook and 1 star not so much. Yeah. Now, the methodology used in the firm's analysis, Daniels, the CEO, explained, E.F. Hutton evaluates each instrument separately and also in relation to its position vis-a-vis other cryptocurrencies, adding that we consider short, medium, and long-term factors that will impact the price of the instrument. However, our rating is based on our view of the instrument in the next 12 months. Okay. E.F. Hutton. I'm trying to remember that commercial. I can remember the Jordache. I still have the Jordache. I can still wear it.
E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody listens.
Was that? Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, it sure was. I thought that was somebody else, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, E.F. Hutton bought shares in American Express, and that was when that commercial was popular.
But I haven't heard the name E.F. Hutton, and they certainly don't have any offices out this way, or at least if they do, they're incognito. So, did you see this move we just caught on the S&P?
I saw the move
on the Logic. Yep. We had an alert. Alert went out right on this candle. The alert went out, or just as this one might have started up, 77 down to 70. So that was 7, and at the same time, just as the music was playing in the background on the Dow for the show to start, and we caught the Dow move here from 70 down to 40. I'm always very conservative, guys, and that's why I encourage you to learn how to use the indicators to trail your stop, because if you can do that on the extended moves. Yesterday, one example, we had a trade, an alert. The target was $400, but it was one of those that I've showed you time and time again. I don't think I've got it still up, because let's going on? Yeah, okay, here we go. Actually, this was a CTA, but it shows the same thing. From 74.95 down to this target here, whatever that price is. It turned basically $400 into $1,000 if you simply sat there. You didn't have to do anything special. Just sit there. Oh, here we go. Okay, this was actually an L2. Consider selling 68.20 on crude, and 68 was the target. That's $200 per contract. That should say $2 from $10 a tick. So that should be 200, right? Okay. That was the target. Nothing wrong with that. $200 per contract traded. Take it all day long. But look at this, okay? To get out here, now, if I showed you this exact same chart without the structure, you would probably just be happy to go with that target. But when you look at it like this, the market gave us an exit signal. A little late in my opinion, but we take what we can get. Here's the exit signal right here. And so typically they're more like just poking their head up, but got it, if you're going to use this, then you got to use it either way. So the close was 67.83. 67.83. So that would have added, I think that one only added another couple $100 because the exit signal pulled so far up. Keep that in mind. I got another one here. I just can't remember what market it happened on. So this is the New Zealand dollar. We're going to be doing, we're already doing some stuff with the New Zealand dollar, so keep your eye out for that. Looks like gold is going to drop back into the pocket at 1200, and we got a zone at 1200, 1201. Just glancing across here to see if we need to do something. Now, this makes you want to do something, but you can't. Okay, you got a bullish cross and a red candle. That is a no-fly zone. One's telling you should be thinking about getting short. The other says, oh no, we're getting ready to move higher. Chances are, okay, it's the bullish cross. That's probably the head fake. Okay, so anyway, back to the news before that word from our sponsor, E.F. Hutton. Think tank calls for universal EU crypto regulations. The European Union, a politico-economic behemoth that often finds it hard to agree on common policies on anything, from immigration to taxation, has been called upon to adopt universal regulations for crypto exchanges and clear rules for crowdfunding through initial coin offerings. In a report, the Brussels-based think tank argues that such an approach would put risks under control while creating conditions to exploit the industry's potential. Always about the exploitation, eh? The Eurasian Economic Union is in a position now to create a common settlement currency for the region. So we're talking about a single currency, ruble or crypto. We don't know. Still checking. And the non-profit, no one can pronounce these names they're coming up with today. Now, you tried. It's E-A-T, eat, like I ate lunch. Same word, B as in boy, C as in Charles, the letter H. As in, huh? Eat, it's like eat with a sneeze attached to it. Anyway, I understand that the BCH stands for Bitcoin Cash, but it doesn't work in a word. All right, the nonprofit EAT, we're just going to call it EAT, is definitely one of Bitcoin Cash community's favorite charities. The reason for this is because the peer-to-peer electronic cash system is doing what many believe it was intended to do, spread economic freedom, and help others in an uncensorable fashion. When fees become a burden for a cryptocurrency payment network, they essentially neuter certain applications like microtransactions, and this type of fee market censors people in countries suffering from economic hardships, and it's supposed to fix the problem, not exacerbate it. In contrast to a network with unreliable dynamic fees, the BCH chain has shown people that the chain can utilize microtransactions in a variety of ways. It happened this week during the BCH stress test day when the nonprofit EAT received thousands of small transactions, adding up to over 3 BCH worth of funds. I'll let you figure out how much that is. Now, EAT has operations in Venezuela and South Sudan. By utilizing Bitcoin Cash to feed people in need, both countries and the citizens there are suffering from serious economic hardships. They got no food, they got no medicine. The basic supplies of life that we take for granted are very hard to come by there right now. EAT has 3 Twitter handles so people can follow them and see how they're helping people. Lots of pictures. Their page shows it's EAT BCH. Shows the group continues to feed families, mothers, elderly children, and anyone in need of nourishment. So that's a good thing. And the fact that they have the stones to even go into South Sudan, boy, they got my respect, don't you know? So Kim Kardashian up in the Oval Office. How does this happen? Is it because her dad was a Woman of the Year last year? I mean, or is it because Kanye is going to be Trump's running mate? Yeah, I said that out loud, I know. Well, I mean, anything can happen, right? Take a look at the numbers from around the world. We're going to start in the US of A with the cash markets. Currently, the Dow down 136 points. NASDAQ down 3. S&P 500 down 6.5. And the Russell 2000 up 3. In the commodity basket, crude oil shed 58 cents today, trading 67.19 last. Gold lost $2.50 and trading 1201.80 last. Boy, we're just right above that big round number at 1200. In the Asian markets, the Nikkei was down 180 points. That's almost 1%. Shanghai was positive by 10 points. And the Hang Seng, after some huge losses this week, only lost 1.25 points today. 1.35. Last but not least, European markets, the FTSE. Wow, I don't know what happened to the pound last night. That thing took off like a rocket. I put a chart out somewhere for you guys to look at. FTSE down 41 points at the close, 0.5%. The DAX positive by 4, the CAC up by 8. So there you have it. A mixed day in Asia, a mixed day in Europe, and here at home it's a big red radio. No, mixed here as well. The Russell is positive by 1.5 points. 1.5. That's right. You got it. Dow drops 150 points after Trump says additional tariffs on China are ready to go. So when we put this in the book, Michael, have the ghostwriter just call it the tariff trade. Right here.
Tariff trade.
We'll call it the tariff trade. So, what else happened in the world? Oil falls as refined products stock rise. We talked about that yesterday. So we had strong U.S. jobs data. Did you guys look at the jobs data?
Yes, we did.
Did you?
We did indeed.
How was it?
U.S. average hourly earnings were double what they were anticipating.
Stop. They were not.
That's what it says.
You're such a cut-up.
That's what it says. Non-farm employment change was about 5% higher than what they were expecting. Yet, and this is what throws me, the unemployment rate went up.
Yet. Is that short for Yeti?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeti.
I've
Maybe.
always
I don't know.
wondered.
It's a really good cooler, though.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. The heat is broke here in Arizona. It's actually starting to feel cooler.
And what's that? 99?
You know, anything under 100 is a good day. I tell you that. Non-farm payrolls, high impact. They were looking for 191,000. That was the forecast.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 201,000. Yowza. The unemployment rate, they had forecast 3.8. Now that came in 3.9.
Yes.
So somebody's head's going to roll for printing that. And then the Canadian unemployment, or the Canadian employment change, that came in at. You think that's a typo?
That's a huge miss.
I mean, I don't. Well, you know what it is, because they passed the pot law. Now they're all just laying around on the couch, smoking weed, eating Count Chocula, and watching cartoons with the sound turned down, and the component stereo system cranked up, playing Deep Purple. Smoke on the Water. That's the one song I can play on the guitar. Well, I can't play the whole song, but I can play boom, boom, boom. All right, moving right along. I know, I'm such a Renaissance man, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Eating
Right.
Count Chocula.
And that stuff is bad. You put some bananas in it. Okay. All right. Well, let's get rid of this. It's not very pretty. It's not very attractive. I know that I showed this off yesterday. I just basically wanted to show it off again. That's all. Nothing new. But what I have done is I have placed things you will use quite frequently here, such as your Telegram, your Skype, your Twitter, your camera, your news, things you hold close to your heart, and the old speed dial. But this mild-mannered browser becomes an absolute beast when I click here. Ha! These are all apps just waiting to go to work for you. Some of them are actually already activated in the background. Some of them run all the time. Some you fire them up, as needed, like your voice typing, where you just talk to your computer and it rocks. Yep, a lot of stuff. Got a lot of stuff going on. Crazy. This Grammarly, Michael, if you don't have it, I recommend it. Oh, guys, and I put LastPass in here for you. If you got to use this thing, it's like magic. You don't ever have to remember passwords again, except the one password to LastPass. If you forget that, you're toast, man. Oh, and we got sticky notes. Look at that. You can like put them all over the place. Remember, we used to have those a long time ago in some other universe. Oh, and the water, it's going to move. When you drag your mouse across it, it'll ripple the water. It's so cool. All right. All that in a bag of chips. It's yours, Michael. I'm on mute.
Okay.
The show must go on.
The show must continue.
It must go on. So
Me
you gotta.
presenter.
Oh yeah, you gotta do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, that link I sent you the other day. I said you didn't have to download any software if you use that new link that GoTo gave us.
That you texted to me.
Yeah, but then I tried to use it on my phone, and what's the first thing it told me to do? Go to the
Download
App
some software.
Store and download the app. Well, okay, so how did you just save me? Oh wait.
Anything.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let it go. Because I mean, they're pretty nice people. The one guy, he calls and bugs me every now and then, but. Okay, here we go. Come on. Here we are.
Here we go.
I shall not delay you anymore, sir. Carry on.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
Carry over.
All right.
But I will not carry a gun.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Today's Friday, the 7th day of September, 2018. Today, let's see. First let's start out with this. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at cfrn.net. And right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, or you can click on this, or this, click on any of those, and you'll eventually be brought to this page where what we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Click the submit button, and you'll be sent to confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that confirmation link, well, we don't know that you took the free trial. So, click that link. Okay, now, spreadsheet. We had a red day. I had a feeling this morning when the day started out that with all the pre-market activity, it was going to get choppy for us. And then I also had a feeling that at 11:30, or after 11:30, there was going to be a lot of market action. And both feelings were correct. Anyway, today we lost 8 ticks in the euro. We made 4 ticks in crude, 4 ticks in gold, and we lost 8 ticks on the ES. So we're minus 70 on the day. We took 15 trading opportunities this morning. So there was activity, but it didn't go anywhere. It was just choppy enough to stop us out. And we got to stop out in each market. We got to stop out on the ES, we got to stop out on gold, we got to stop out on crude, and we got to stop out on the euro. And we came back in gold and crude, and we didn't come back in the ES and the euro. But we'll get to that. On the month anyway, we're up 567.50. That's over 4 days, averaging 141 per day. On the year, we're at 23,968. That's over 164 days, averaging 146 per day. Okay. Okay. Let's get into this. Now, it was really active right in the beginning. This was a bounce off the BBC. This was pre-market, but that would have given a goal for the day. This was also pre-market, would have given most of the goal. This was right at the open and would have given the goal. But we grabbed this one, got 2, a break even, then 4 more to put us at +6. Then we stopped out to put us at -2. Then a break even. A +2 there to get us back to 0. And +4 there to get us to +4 on the morning session. Then, in the afternoon session, there was a great trade right there. Bang. That would have worked out just fine. And then it kind of flattened out. And that was gold this morning. We ended with +4. The euro, we had a break even right there. Looks like we missed a couple here in the morning. Missed one there, missed one there. And we took this one over here and stopped out, -8 ticks. Then during the break, well, the euro was going down, but the slingshot's not giving us any opportunity here. Okay, so we didn't have anything there during the break on the euro. Crude oil. On the crude, over here, we started out on the crude with +2. Then we had a break even, then we stopped out, and we were -6. And then we had another break even. And then we had a +10 right there to get us to +4 in the morning. Then I was saying that during the break, after 11:30, we should see some good movement. And we did. We had nice movement in there. It changed directions, came back. There was a short there, and a short there. Changed directions again. And there was a long there that would have been a break even. But we ended with +4 on crude. Okay, and the ES. Look at that. It's a beautiful thing. On the ES, we started out with the break even right here. And I don't know why I didn't go for this one, but I didn't. But we stopped out here, and then it went up and did what it should have done. And then we got into the break. And during the break on the ES, there was a short. Well, nowhere, actually. It didn't pull back anywhere deep enough. So there was a short nowhere in there. But there was a good movement. And that's what I was saying we were going to get. In here, there was a momentum long trade right there. Okay. Then another short right there that would have been a break even. And that's about it. That was about it. Yeah. So, go back to this right here. If you got to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 7th day of September 2018. We lost 8 ticks in the euro. We made 4 ticks in crude, 4 ticks in gold, and we lost 8 ticks on the ES. That put us at minus 70 on the day. Took 15 trade opportunities this morning. So on the month now, we're at $567. That's over 4 days, averaging $141 per day. On the year, we are at $23,968. That is over 164 days, averaging $146 per day. Now, both those numbers are one contract, 2 hours per day. That's one contract, 2 hours per day. Okay. If you have not taken the free trial with us, just go to the home page here at cfrn.net. And right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, or you can click on this right here, or you can click on this right here. Any of those will eventually bring you to this page. And on this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Click on the submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that confirmation link, we do not know that you took the free trial. Okay? Okay. And with that, you can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. Dwayne's not ready. And John's not in here yet either. So, I don't know if you want to ding him. But.
You looking for me?
Yes. And John. John's not there yet either.
Well, what do you think that means?
I do not know. I am not knowing these things.
Me neither, Coach. Okay. Alright, so what do you want to talk about?
Well, we can talk about
Oh,
the weather,
that's
the markets, the L2. Any of these are good things.
Scott goes, Scott just sent me a message. What a timely YM short. And I'm typing back. Oh, I should try that app. I was trying to get on the radio and send alert at same time. Now, I don't know if you know, a lot of people voice. Now, you're administrator in these various channels, unless I missed one. You can send voice. You can make telephone calls.
I can.
Yeah, you can make, if you just on the upper left hamburger menu. Yeah, if you click that, it should open up a panel that has your photo.
Calls, settings, contacts, new channel, new group.
If you click on calls,
Huh.
it'll say you haven't made any Telegram calls yet.
Speaking of calls, remember that issue about Walmart?
Uh-huh.
I called them.
You did.
I did, and they said to block the number that the calls are coming from and to call the FTC, and they gave me the FTC number. So they said they can just shut that number down. I don't know how to block it because
I don't
not
know.
like it's on my phone.
I'll have to check and see. Let's see.
And I'll have to send you the actual number.
Let me ask my friend the internet.
Okay.
Can you block an incoming number on a Google phone number? Google Voice comes with a feature that allows you
According to
block
Tom's guide,
incoming
Google
calls.
Voice comes with a feature that allows you to block incoming calls. They will not know that you blocked their number and will just hear a message saying that the phone number that they are trying to call is no longer in
So I will
service.
send you the number that I was told.
It was one of those things where you search for something and the lady starts talking. Google Voice comes with a feature that allows you to block incoming calls. They will not know you blocked their number. They will just hear a message saying that the phone number that they are trying to call is no longer in service. Whoa, that's stepping up the game. Because typically, like with your iPhone, if you block somebody, I don't think it tells them your phone's out of service.
I don't know what it does.
So I got to go to.
Can ask my ex-brother-in-law. He's blocked.
Control panel, and you go to your settings option, voice, click contacts. Okay.
Here, I'll text you the number right
up here. Calls. See, just boom, calls. It says you haven't made any calls yet. So, all right. Well, how are they holding that against me? Let me ask my friend the internet. She knows everything. Okay. Alright, gotta get this out of here. How do I make a telephone call with Telegram? Voice calls, they are secure, they're crystal clear, and they're AI powered. The voice call interface is familiar and easy to use, but as always, you get loads of innovation under the hood with Telegram. Telegram calls are built upon the time-tested end-to-end encryption of Telegram's secret chats. The key verification user interface we came up with to protect against man-in-the-middle attacks served well, blah, blah. Oh, you have to, this is like Pentagon-grade encryption. If you and I want to have a super secret conversation, and it's already encrypted, but on top of that, to make sure your call is 100% secure, you and your recipient just need to compare 4 emoji over the phone, no lengthy codes or complicated pictures. Wow. It's super fast. Whenever possible, your calls will go over a peer-to-peer connection using the best audio codecs. In the coming months, we'll be expanding our content delivery network. They say they're faster than all the other phone companies. The texts get there faster than any other. Okay. So, complete control. Now, I don't mean to seem thick or anything, but I still don't see. What does this do? What does that do? View group, manage group, export chat history, leave group. No, those are, I don't want to do any of those things. What I wanted to do is make a phone call, or attempt to make a phone call. You'd think, oh, maybe you go to contacts, and if you hover over that, oh, it's just calling somebody. How do I hang up, Michael? Help. I don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't even know who that person is.
I don't know.
Oh, I finally hung up. Oh, good thing that Becky's cell app does not support calls. They need to update their app before you can call them. Oh, I didn't know you were calling somebody on an app. I thought you were.
No, I wasn't calling anybody on the app. I was getting called
No.
by an
I'm
app.
not talking about that. You
Okay.
On screen. No, I'm talking about how you make phone calls with the Telegram. I thought you could call a landline, but apparently you can't. Michael, can you talk to the audience for a moment? I'll be right back. Thank you.
Sure. What would you all like to talk about? Let's see. Hang on. I am going through a whole bunch of stuff right here. All right. Oh, you can't even see my charts, so I can't show you anything, but I can just talk to you. Let me get the question box out. Or, you know what else I can do? That was a great ES trade. And the Russell finally broke too. Fuad. That's good. I'm glad you got everything you needed. Because today was a frustrating day this morning in the live training room. It was a very frustrating morning. Let's see. That's Dwayne's. I can't move that. And you can't see his chart.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes these things just happen.
That's okay. John's in the audience now, by the way.
Great. John. Okay.
his mic open?
How do I make a video call?
There he is. I think.
Hi there.
Hey, John.
Hey, John, welcome to the show. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks. Thanks for asking. And I and yourself.
Yeah, doing okay. Doing okay.
Yeah, this market is in a bit of trouble here. You know, it's the way we ran up this morning and sort of gave it all back is not too cool. We might be getting a little bit of a bounce here, which could turn into something bigger. But if it doesn't, the outlook is fairly grim, frankly. So
If it happens now, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, just a second. Well, you know, we're the fact that we went up this morning. Now, there's a chance that we could recover. We could still get back up, you know, from here. It's not too bad. You know, the most encouraging thing today is exactly what we were saying yesterday, which is that the Nasdaq, after being the leader on the downside for the last few days, is actually the leader on the upside today. You know, having gone into green early in the morning, dramatically so, from about 7,400 all the way back up to 7,490 or so, was a pretty dramatic rebound. And actually, we're starting to. I just put out a tweet to go back long here, you know, to see how far we can actually recover, and we could recover a lot. We're only down 4 now on the Nasdaq, almost back to green. So this is encouraging. If we get back to green, that's a big deal. You know, most of the Nasdaq stocks this morning were putting in reversals, and you know, we're going to have a bad week unless there's some sort of a miraculous rebound late today, which there could be. The job numbers weren't too bad.
Yeah, there was one. There was a slight miss on one of them.
Yeah,
like 0.1 or something.
Look, the situation's, you know, we can't sort of keep blowing away the numbers every single month till Kingdom Come. The world doesn't work that way. You know, we are nine.
Remember the other day I said he's done such a great job that when things, you know, like slow down, I mean, trees don't grow to the sky. Eventually they get as tall as they get, and then they stop. So.
Yeah. So right now we're having a pretty sharp rebound. We just gone positive, so something's happened. That's good. Maybe it was the end of Obama's speech. He's talking in Chicago today and rattling on about stuff. So maybe the market said.
Are you familiar at all with the euro dollar? Did I talk to
you?
Yeah,
we were talking about it yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I figured out. GE. It's normally people use this euro dollar. It's very complicated, this spread thing that they do. You don't just go long or short, you do 3 different things. But you can also trade it standalone. And if you put it on daily, it starts to make some sense. And so I put out an alert last night just to get it on everyone's radar. But check out when I start to type in the symbol, GE, look what happens. You've got the current month, September of 2018, and you've got VXZ, and we're here, 6EU9. We're 1 year out on this thing, and yeah, I don't know if it's triggered yet or not. No, I don't think it's triggered yet. I don't think it's triggered to like 97. I think it triggers up in here. And then we're looking to get back just up into this territory here. The thing that I want to talk to Bert about, I still haven't a chance to speak to him, is how is there so much volume every day and so little price movement? So that's why it's not popular among day traders, because, you know, just intraday you don't get that much movement. Now, a couple of the articles I read said that it traded 3 million contracts a day. And I'm like, well, how's it? And I looked at the date of the article, and the date of the article was like 2013. So in 2013, this thing was trading 3 million contracts a day on average, and it was called the most liquid contract anywhere in the world. The CME on their website, they say the average volume now is about 300,000, but as we found out yesterday going to the chart, well, we've got 245,000 so far today. So, all right, well, go ahead. What would you like to talk about?
Well, the jobs, just roughly speaking now, I think Trump has created about 3.8 million jobs since the election. So we've got September and October still to go. So the run rate's actually going to be about 4 million per term, which is sorry, let me get that straight. 2 million. He's done 4 in 2 years, right? So 8 million in 4 years is a very big number. Is a very big number. So he's well ahead of the run rate right now. If he can keep this up, certainly if we keep this run rate going into 2020, I mean, he'll practically double what Obama did. So that would be really something.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, and look, the market, what habitually today is, normally when there's a, the market acts better on a job day, but given we're coming off a fairly sharp correction over the last few days, I'd say it's still not acting too badly, and the fact that the Nasdaq is back to the leadership is encouraging. So if we can keep this Goldilocks type economy, not too hot, not too cold, I don't think the Fed, even though they say they're going to raise rates, and they probably will, I don't think the Fed wants to kill this market and overdo it by raising rates too much, because it does have a deleterious effect on the rest of the world, which is happening right before our eyes. I mean, if you look at the Chinese market today, I mean, we're rallying in the Nasdaq in spite of the Chinese market, which is very close to new lows. It's actually putting in a doji today, so there's an outside chance that the market could still bottom and go higher next week, i.e. the emerging markets. By the way, speaking of emerging markets, do you see what happened in Brazil with this presidential candidate?
No, what happened? Got
stabbed at a rally, leading the leading candidate for president. Pretty gruesome.
Conservative? Is he a conservative, a liberal? Do you know?
He's a right winger. Yeah, they're calling him the Brazilian Trump, and I think he's all right. But this might put him over the top. Surviving an attempt like this and pulling through. But it sort of kind of reminds us of the candidate that was assassinated in Mexico in 1994. Colosio, his name, I think, and that triggered a 9-month correction in the markets. So. This sell-off in the last, the market has a sense about things. So if we were to reverse upwards in the emerging markets, especially the Brazilian market here in the next few days, that would be a welcome development, and it might be the turning point for the emerging markets. Since the guy's, if he's assuming he survives and gets past, recovers.
Oh, so he's okay. All right.
The other thing is the transports, which we're looking very, we mentioned that possible triple top developing yesterday. That's a bad sign. The fact that the Dow is down so badly today, down, 160 at one point or more. That's kind of a troubling thing too, because I really thought the Dow would do better, given it's so close to a record, and in some respects, it may be a blessing in disguise, because as long as the Nasdaq's leading, you can certainly be, you can have confidence in the market. When the Nasdaq's not leading like it was the last few days, then you have to be worried. But if the Dow is lagging, it's actually kind of a bullish backdrop, if you like. So, because what it means is that the Nasdaq, as the Nasdaq goes higher, it'll sort of drag the Dow back up. So the 20, we're down to 2880 right now, 25,880. If we sort of get back up over 26,000, I think that's a very positive thing. The 2610, 26,100 is where we're running into trouble. So overcoming that would be a good thing, very positive. But look, if we come back from this correction and we start hitting new highs, it'll be very impressive. And actually, one of the surprising things is that the mid cap has not really pulled back very much. In fact, it's sort of pulling back less than the previous corrections we've had, which is another kind of a positive sign. So all we need really next week is a bit of good news, and maybe the emerging markets turning would be, if that happens on Sunday night going into next week, and suddenly China, remember, they're stimulating like crazy over there right now. Then that's often the case. The stimulate doesn't work for a while, and then it starts to get traction, and then the market turns, and we're good. We're in good shape. So a strong upturn, and last night the Nikkei got banged down pretty sharply, which is also a problem for our markets. So if look, if the emerging markets keep dropping, it's not going to help us, plain and simple. It's already, we've managed to kind of go the other way, if you like. The US has been singularly strong versus almost every other market. But it could, it is in danger, as we've said, months ago. It's in danger of getting dragged down by the rest of the world. That could be a problem. So if the rest of the world starts turning up here in the next week or two, that'll definitely help us, I think. So the other thing is the palladium continues to be very strong. Actually, it's banging away at the highs of around 975.
Which month are you in, John?
I'm still in I'm in December right now. I'm in December.
AZ, I guess that would be AZ8. Yeah, there we go. Palladium. Okay, there it is.
So, if the palladium gets past 975, it's probably going to run for 1,000, which would be very positive. It's definitely acting really well. I think you'd agree.
I like the look of that.
Yeah, and could not just go to 1,000, could go to 10, 20, or 30. Mm-hmm. I think the gold stocks are very close to turning. They may have bottomed today. Finally, they've put in a big spike. They did a classic down opening, and they reversed, and they're only down slightly right now. And I think they're going to go probably going to reverse higher before the day's out. That could actually mean that between now and Sunday night, I think the platinum is bottoming. It's and the rest of the metals, the silver acted better today. It was kind of bleeding in the morning, but it kind of gave up some of its gains. If we get back, if we get back towards 12.05 or even 12.7 to 10 on the gold before the day's out, I would consider that to be quite constructive, and could be a sign, because look, Sunday night or some sort of surprise happens. By the way, the wages, the higher wages are possible reason why the market sold off this morning. Just sort of getting spooked a little bit. but the higher wages component is potentially bullish for gold. It's a sign of, you know, forthcoming inflation. So, you know, that could be enough to turn the tide here. I'm kind of perplexed, to tell you the truth, that the gold didn't act better today. I thought it would do better, but you know, the day's not over yet. Certainly palladium is acting great, and you know, I've just got a feeling that I think if the palladium pushes up towards 1,000, 10, 20, 30, I don't think the gold can restrain itself from following higher, or any of the metals for that matter. And we did get a bit of a spurt on the copper. We ran up to 265. We pulled back to 262. I think it's important we hold here and start clawing our way back up again. Also, the grains are, I would say, I said the bottom was probably in a few days ago. So far, that's proven to be the case. The grains look actually fairly constructive, especially the soy meal. Soy meal is acting very, very strongly, and that's usually a good sign for the grains. The energy fell down last night, but remember there was a 3 or 4 million barrel drawdown. So, you know, I think it was partially the market that dragged the energy sector down. So if we recover this afternoon, then I think that the energy market may decide to go back higher again. But $69-70 a barrel is a very key level now for the energy markets, and the surprises could be on the upside. The other thing is the dollar. You know, the problem with gold is this dollar. The dollar's gone back up again, so that is a problem because you know, it's sort of reversed. This, what would have been a weekly reversal down, is now turning into, more than likely, we might break out to the upside again on the dollar. Now, look, the best of all worlds. It could be if gold, you know, very often before a turn in the metals, gold and the dollar go up together, and that could possibly start happening this month. So if gold and the dollar start moving up together, that's usually a sign of a developing bull market in the metals, because the thinking being that if gold is sort of running its own race and actually outpacing the dollar, then when the dollar breaks, which it usually does sometime after that, that's when gold really puts on the afterburners. So, you know, the fact of the matter is we've held, you know, we're quite a bit off the lows in gold. We're obviously not off the lows in the stocks, which is a bit of a problem. But the fact that the metals are well off the lows is encouraging, especially the palladium. So, you know, if we can get a spurt higher in the metals, that could change everything to a much more, don't forget, there's a lot of people short this market. It's kind of a short squeeze waiting to happen, and it could come very suddenly out of the blue. So, and there's a bit of aggro going on in Syria right now that, you know, could blow up into something. So we need some sort of an outside influence to turn these markets.
John, I want to talk to you about Alex Jones here in a minute, but can you continue to speak with the audience? I need to take care of something real quick. I just need to put you on hold, okay?
Sure.
Right back. Thank you.
Yeah. So actually, as we're speaking, the market's starting to turn down again. So, you know, we'll have to see. Actually, we've gone negative on the NASDAQ again now, which is not so good. So the markets are definitely acting heavy. They're under pressure. I mean, a few days ago, had an upgrade on UPS, and Federal Express was rallying strongly. It's given back a lot of its gains today. So Boeing yesterday had a very strong day. It's practically given all of its gains back. These are not good technical things to happen. By the way, our favorite stock, medical stock, Intercept, is acting well today, and the fact that it's so strong is probably for people who made money on this stock and who've got money to risk. It might be worth holding over the weekend, because something's going on with this company that's definitely acting much more bullish than the rest of the market right now. Kind of looks like it could be a strong performer next week, just because it's acting, you know, it's gonna have a very strong weekly close, and it's got to go a little bit higher to get to make it an almost, you know, compelling buy, if you like. It's just got a small little sell on it right now, but if it breaks down from here, but let's see where it finishes. If it's fairly strong going into the close, it's probably worth a shot, but it's pretty risky, because this thing can turn and it can, you know, evaporate. Its gains can evaporate very quickly. The other stocks we talked about, I think we mentioned it, were Tilray, TLRY, is one of these marijuana stocks. It's actually giving us a sell signal here again. It ran up this morning, opened lower, opened down to 73, actually 72.5, rallied all the way back up to 84, and it's on a sell again right now. I think this stock's pretty good chance it's highs, seen the highs, although it went up to 90, 97 so fast that I wouldn't rule out one more upside run, especially given the way it recovered today in a fairly bad market. The SEC is warned about people going crazy into marijuana stocks for obvious reasons. This thing's got a market value of about $7.5 billion right now, which is insane, considering it only made it. I think it only had revenues of 7 million or something. So I don't know the exact details on that, but they obviously came out with a warning for a good reason, because people have been totally carried away with this thing. Citron is shorting it right now. They liked it when it was down at 24 or 25 or so, but they think it's overdone. They're not always the best at catching the high on the shorts, but if I would say, you know, if this, just be ready for a possible break in this stock, it could end up being a pretty good short. But it might have a little bit more in it first on the upside. The transports need to be watched very carefully. You know, they've actually given back all of what they got yesterday. Today, that's a really bad sign in the market, and it's, you know, whatever was gained yesterday, especially in the Dow stocks, that's been given back today is. In fact, the transports have got a really brutal looking daily sell signal developing here. So this is, and it's a kind of a triple top, which is very troubling indeed, because if the transports start breaking down, it's gonna sap the confidence of the old timers on Wall Street, who will pay a lot of attention to that. And as I say, the fact that the Dow is acting so bad today as well is really kind of a head scratcher in a way.
I'm back, John. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So the we've got. I mean, look, we've got an ominous looking weekly. Daily sells developing on just about everything today. And what I've figured is, remember we were talking about, it's very interesting because we were looking at the VIX a few weeks ago when the market was still screaming higher, and I remarked that it was very similar to the turn in January, where the VIXs turned before the market peaked. The same thing has basically happened this time around, and it's starting to look like a carbon copy of the January bottom. which went from 25.5 up to actually an intranight high of about 65. So it went from 25 to 65. This bottom came in at 28, so it was a little bit higher. The fact that we did not go lower, this time around, where the market went higher is a divergence in of itself. And as I said a few weeks ago, it'd be a good idea to keep a position in the VIXs, because when we're in a developing bear market like this, the surprises are on the downside, and that's kind of what's happening right now today with almost every stock. And so the likelihood of this, what's happening now is most people are so complacent they haven't really gone into the VIXs yet, because they don't think the market's that damaged yet. But if the market starts tanking on Monday morning or overnight or over the weekend, if the emerging markets don't recover, then the VIXs could add, the premiums could start coming into the VIXs. And obviously, the more bearish the market is, the bigger the premium in the VIXs. That's when it starts. It's only up 60 points today, 60, 70 points. At one point it came back to the entry point from last night almost. So there was a chance to rebuy it. Now the premium's coming back into it. But if we really start looking bearish, or if there's a sharp sell-off this afternoon, then you're going to see the VIX is up several dollars per share or more as the fear premium comes into it. And another thing, look, it's Friday. We've had, this is the 80 to 7 scenario. We are in September. This is when all the trouble started in 1987. What you got to be careful of is this the Wednesday, Thursday decline. We've had 2 down days now, not so much in the Dow, but in the rest of the markets. We're down heavily today in the Dow. This is a minor version of how the 87.
Dow's down 145 at the moment.
Right, it's a kind of a minor version of the 80. It's like 87 light so far. But if there's a lack of confidence this afternoon and there's an accelerating sell-off, as it appears to be developing, I think you definitely have to have some exposure to the VIXs, or be short the market, or both. So, because if we suddenly lurch into some kind of an uncontrollable sell-off on Monday morning, where everything gaps down, it will be it has the potential to be a very bad Monday and possible turnaround on Tuesday of next week. So, and when I say very bad, don't be surprised if the market does something really, because there are not too many people out there who are expecting 1,000-point down day or something like that in the Dow right now, which could actually unfold.
Yeah, it could. And this Dow, this is the daily chart of the Dow. I mean, this pullback we've had so far is pretty shallow. I mean, we haven't even, just from the June lows up to the most recent highs, we still haven't hit this 24% retracement.
That's a daily. That's a daily, right?
It is a daily, and so you've got.
Yeah, look at the dojis. You see the dojis there, Dwayne? Is it three or four dojis? Yep. And now we're breaking down. It's really troubling, that the whole thing. Especially the fact that we're taking out yesterday's low, and we're on the point of taking out the weekly lows for the Dow. Can you put it to a weekly? See what it looks like.
Sure, 25,800. Okay. Now, from 25,800, guys, our lowest weekly zone on the Dow this week is 25665/70. 25665. Oh, that's perfect. I can't get an alert. It's difficult to get an alert out. I'm going to try, guys. We just had this ES for 7 points and the YM for 40 points, whatever it was, 30 or 40. But let me just tell you, 25,800 on the Dow and covered at 25,700. Yeah. Okay, so if I don't get a chance to put it in the system, 25,800, 25,700. And keep your eye on the clock. Starts getting towards the end of the day. Get out unless you've got an account size that will allow you to hold. And then, of course, you should talk to your broker about holding open positions anyway. We don't encourage it. Although with the new product, it's almost a necessity. Or it can be. It depends on how you trade it. This is weekly on the Dow.
Yeah. You know, we're giving back most of what we made last week, and we're at the tipping point of a potential bear, you know, down move here. Also, something that bothers me a bit is this. See that kind of a three-wave rally off the lows in May or April, May. That the fact that we sort of went up in 3 waves and we could be coming down now is a real problem. And look, you know, this midterm thing, most people have dismissed this midterm thing as, you know, they're not really kind of in the, it's probably not dawned on a lot of people that there's a real chance that the Republicans could lose the House. And I think that that's something that could actually hurt the markets here more than we expect in the next month or two, especially given the way they keep bashing, you know, this thing, the op-ed and all the ongoing drama about that is, it definitely has had some impact on the markets this last few days as well. So we're at a very critical point here, for sure, and the same with the S&P. It's you know, that lower trading range.
Yeah, the lowest zone right here. We haven't 2860/61.
Yeah.
We haven't touched it this week. So, but it certainly could happen going into the close.
Weekly up on that one?
I can, but with all the drawing objects, it's probably...
All right, don't bother. It's okay.
Let's just try.
Look,
Let's see what happens. You said weekly? Is that what you said, or daily?
Try the daily first. Try the daily.
Daily might not throw it off. Yeah, talk on it. Yeah, it makes it unbearable. I can bring up daily on the S&P on the other chart. Let me do that. Uh-oh.
Yeah, boy, it looks real heavy. Holy mackerel. That's a really...
There we go. So now let me go back over here. ES. Okay, and then we're going to put that on a daily. Okay, there we go. It's daily on the ES for the current year.
Yeah, it's very bad. It's much worse than the Dow, obviously. And the weekly, try putting the weekly on that. I think it's going to look dreadful. Yeah, it's a very it's a hard week to recover from, you know.
Yeah, I think we see this 24% retracement.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
28.31, and I just told you guys. I told you guys 28 to 27. I may revisit that, so we're not getting triggered yet, so don't worry about it. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to cover?
No, listen. Thanks very much for the invite, and we'll see what the rest of the
box. Michael had it open, and he was talking to people, and I never got around to opening it. Okay. Thanks, Alan. Kieran said, markets drop on news Trump another 267 billion China tariffs. Yep, Kieran.
Oh, is he putting, is that on or what?
Yeah, that's what Karen said. She had typed that in quite a bit earlier. And David, your question, is there a LOGIC247 group chat on Telegram? There is. And you should have access, David, to all of them, both the public and the private. There's 4 or 5 different channels. Shoot me an email, support@cfrn.net, and I'll go into Telegram. That's just as a reminder. I'll go in and make sure you have access to all of them, okay? I'll send you a link. Karen says it's not a formal announcement. He just made some comments.
Oh, okay. Basically saying he's going to do it or what? Right.
You know, yeah, I'm not saying it's an empty threat, but it's certainly a threat, I guess.
Well, the Chinese said they were going to retaliate. That's the problem. You know, they're just not getting the memo, these guys.
Yeah, so those little plastic ninjas are going to start costing us $0.25 instead of 20 cents. So, all right, John, have a great weekend.
You too. All the best. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Okay, guys, I've got to get up and get out of here. Let me take care of John's mic so he can move about the cabin. Now, you all know that for an extended period of time, as we promised, that the LOGIC247 would have the introductory pricing, and that once we got back our report, our feedback, etc., and had a chance to stratify all the numbers and what's taken place, both we had a 3-week beta test, and now we've had 4 weeks. We're finishing today our 4th week post-beta, so a total of 7 weeks. The introductory pricing will hold through the weekend. Now, I'll be doing some work on the website. So if you go to the website and you see the price has changed, all you got to do is get a hold of us over the weekend, and we'll still honor those introductory prices. If you were part of the beta, you qualify for the beta tester pricing. If you are not part of the beta, you're just part of the CFRN community, then you qualify for those introductory prices that are listed. Now, when the new prices go up, I don't want anybody passing out from sticker shock. So just, if you have an interest, just take care of it this weekend so you never have to worry about it again. I just don't want it to be as it was with concierge trade alerts. So many people passed on the opportunity, and and now it's right now, let me just say this, it's affordable. So if you want affordable, we got affordable. But as we move into next week, the new pricing structure will take effect. And so if you have not had a look at the work, if you go to eminitrading.com, you can click a link and it'll take you right into the beta test channel. There's a public discussion group about the beta test in another channel or group. And of course, I'll be available to talk with you over the weekend. If you have some questions, anything at all, just reach out to me. Because it was with the concierge trade alerts, we drug it out. What I'm doing right now, we drug that out for like a month, every day, and yet still, once things changed, when people saw, oh wow, they really did. Well, I'm just telling you, that's been the plan all along, and you've known that. So if you have an interest, just go ahead and take advantage of it so it doesn't become a sore spot or point or, whatever down the road. But go look at the trades. Look at the individual trades. Bring up the chart. Read the commentary. Now, this isn't about just giving you trade alerts. It's also about the commentary, okay? I take you places and talk about things that, honestly, you just won't find anywhere else. I'm not bragging. I don't think I'm the best one out there, the best analyst, or any of that stuff. Not at all. In fact, I was having a conversation with someone last night. Throughout my life, about the only thing I was qualified for was sales jobs, No, when I came out of the Navy, the only jobs that said no experience required, which I had a lot of, no experience. Those, they would hire me. And I would do good, and pretty soon I had the keys. That repeated itself again and again. Not because I had the silver tongue, not because I was born with some kind of special gene, the salesman gene. Actually, I was mediocre at best. But every place I ever worked, come Friday, I would always be at the top of the leaderboard. Well, how's that possible if the other guys are more talented? I was willing to work harder. Okay? That's the bottom line. These guys could come in, you know, and what they could do in 10 calls would take me 100 or 200. But I was willing to do it because I wanted to move up, move ahead, move along. Move to Arizona. That wasn't in the plans 30 years ago, but here I am. So, if you have any questions, get a hold of me. I'll be happy to meet with you in a go-to meeting room. We can look at charts together. We can go over some of the trade setups. I'll explain to you if you don't know how the stops are set. But it's been a great experience for everyone, I think. For me, it certainly has. So I'll leave it at that so that it doesn't turn into a sales pitch, because it's not. Obviously, I benefit. The company benefits if you wait, right, and pay more. But if you're part of the family, if you're part of the group, if you're part of the community, I don't want that. So let's get over to our good word for the day. We've been talking about what's in a name. We've determined everything. Yesterday we talked about Jehovah Nissi, God our banner. Now, let's just see here. Notes. Today's scripture. Okay. That's not it. Okay, we are there. Persistence. Judges 6:16. You don't hear Judges preached very much, do you? I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites. Peace. Do not be afraid. That's the long version. That's the New International. In the King James, it just says, fear not. Over and over. The name Jehovah Shalom, the Lord our peace, was discovered by Gideon when God told him to lead Israel against the Midianites. A position Gideon felt was far beyond his capacity. God thought he could do it, but Gideon says, oh, I can't do that. How can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my family. Judges 6:15. Here's how the Lord responded. I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites. Peace. Do not be afraid. You're not going to die. A frightened Gideon believed God, and before the battle was even fought or the victory won, by faith, he saw the peace already secured. So he built an altar to Jehovah Shalom. The Lord is peace. We often assume we'll only have peace when our situation changes. Then, like Gideon, we learn that inward peace doesn't depend on altering our outward circumstances. It depends on believing God is with you and experiencing His inner peace. Jesus promised us, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. John 14:27. However inadequate you may feel to face whatever challenges are in front of you today, remember God's word, remember the words of Jesus, and use that challenge as an opportunity to grow closer to the one who's fighting the battle for you, because it's His battle, not yours. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. Take heart. I have overcome the world. John 16:33. Dead, went to hell, came back with the keys to the grave. Notice that your job in that scripture, John 16:33, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. Take heart. I have overcome the world. See, your job, our job, my job, is to take heart. He's doing the other stuff. He said, in me you may have peace. Take heart. I have overcome the world. All you have to do is accept and recognize what he's already done for you. It's like you go to a restaurant, you have this fabulous meal. Oh, you're rubbing your tummy, and you go to pay, and cashier says, oh no, that's already been taken care of. What? What do you mean? I'm from out of town. I don't even know anybody in this town. Who would pay for my meal? And the gentleman just stands there and smiles. That's grace. And God has poured grace on your life like gravy. Gravy on mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. Ooh, it must be lunchtime. No. It's his battle. Don't get in the way. You might get hurt. Turn it over to him. Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nisi. And today, Jehovah Shalom. I hope you have a great weekend. Spend quality time with your family. That is CFRN Law if you want to be part of our community. Of course, I will see you all in church on Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.